Good morning. We're in Genesis 40. We are in Genesis 40. And by the way, guys, I got big news yesterday. Stick around for a minute. Let me just break this down before y'all leave. Look, I'm on YouTube, right? I'm like, okay, because you know this whole debate thing about atheists and all that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, you know, gematria to me is the nail in the coffin for the debate. I was told it was just mathematics. I said, let me go brush up on my gematria so that I can properly hit the head of my nail in this coffin. So I'm on YouTube. I don't have a lot of free time, you know. I mean, I don't. But I want to make sure that I'm not just existing. I'm getting better. So I stumbled across this video on gematria. And dude basically confirms everything I've been saying. Now, I lost the video. I tried to go back and find it. I couldn't find it. It's almost like God telling me, hey, you heard enough. So, I mean, I'll look again. Okay, the video basically says that, to put it plainly, that everything other than the teachings of Jesus is basically extra. And that's basically what I'm saying. Like, okay, it's just basically dumbed down. You know, Jesus Christ has such a powerful name that demons flee from him. You know, so ever since then, you know, the synagogue of Satan or whatever's been going on, they've been trying to diminish the name of him forever so that people will say it less and less. People will use that in authority less and less. Okay, so the power of Jesus, the demons flee in his name, it is that powerful. It is the name of God. Jesus Christ is the name of God. Now, I'm not going to go down as far as the extent they were saying about the other names of God. But the point is that the ultimate goal, however subtly they try to diminish it, however subtly they can water down and take away the validity of the Christ and the Gospels, that's the ultimate goal, and that's the main reason, because they don't want, the demonic realm doesn't want you to know how valuable it is and how truthful it is, and that is basic teaching. And, you know, that was the message, and it went into a lot of stuff, and everybody basically concurred. They said it's highly doubtful that the other names are valid. You know, the Tetragrammaton, the you know, YHWH, Jehovah, Yahweh. Now, like I said, I don't know the extent of all that, and God forgive me if I'm blaspheming your name, but I got to let you guys know that I know I'm pretty good at hearing truth when I say it. And what he was saying was that, yes, Jesus Christ is the Messiah. He was God. And that you're not going to get any better than everything else is not going. Everything else, all the occult that lead you to believe that you're missing something, that you're being withheld. No, the only truth being withheld is that they're trying to dumb down the Christ. They're trying to act like the Christ was debunked, but really it's just all a sham trying to get you away from the Christ. Okay, I'm trying to think of a good example, but that's the big conspiracy, that everything is designed to pull you away from the Christ, because the demonic realms, the power that be, the ruler of the world, Satan, has gone to great lengths, and he's doing good, trying to pull people away from the Christ. He's pulling people away from Christ mostly by the line of thinking goes like this, that you're missing something. The Christ is just a thing. It's not, and even in the realms that he is acknowledged, that it's been dumbed down to a point of it's been, even the realms that he's acknowledged, it's been superficial. No, it's been said, oh, he's just a prophet. Oh, it's there's so much more you're missing as far as intellectual capacity. That is greatly not the case, according to this guy, and I agree wholeheartedly. That is greatly not the case. The Christ is the most thing that can happen to you. The Christ and his teachings is the only most effective thing for you. Anything else, I mean anything else, anything will not benefit you like the Christ and his teachings. And that is comforting, knowing that we made the right choice and we could just absolutely have to trust it despite all of these crazy things. Making confident assertions. You have to trust at the end of the day that stuff is trying to pull you away. And great lengths have been taken to do that. In very subtle ways. To extreme degrees. This stuff has happened. To pull you away from the Christ. And that's comforting, knowing that we can know that. We know now that that is the case. Because I'm telling you, I saw the video, and it's almost like, and it was tore down. It's almost like it got tore down, or God tore it down from me, because he's like, okay, you got the message. That's God telling me you got the message. I'm thinking that because I couldn't find the video, that was God telling me you got the message. Okay, now it's down. Stop looking. Okay. So that was big. Another thing that was big, and I'll tell you some more about that. But this is precedent, because I was just at that point where I was thinking, you know what? I was at that point where my faith was starting to waver, not much, but I was willing to hear something from the atheists. I was going to let them tell me. I was like, man, are they about to tell me something that's going to shatter my faith? I was really starting to think that my faith was about to be shattered by something the atheist, because I'm new to this debate thing. But after hearing that video yesterday, no, I'm good. I'm good, because it all makes sense. It all makes perfect sense. So, I'm getting tore up out here with these mosquitoes. It all makes perfect sense, man. What it was, whole Christ thing. So basically, what they're saying, guys, is that, okay, you know, as humans, we want to feel like we can gain something by our efforts. Okay, that's what we want to feel like. We can gain something. Biblical scholar, this is for you too. We can gain something. We can find something out. We can be smart enough to do something on our own to get us that'll find. We'll be cool enough and smart enough and bold enough to do it. We'll get there. You know, we'll find something and earn that and figure that out. And that's how we did that, because we found it. And we were bold enough, we were smart enough to get there. You know, to look, to be different, to be smarter than that guy, to be more adventurous. You know, that's the line of thinking that Satan is using when we're using all this stuff. Like I said, that is greatly not the case. Greatly not the case. Greatly not the case. It's going to take boldness to look to surrender and look inside of yourself and follow the teachings of Christ and acknowledge him for what he is. You know. So basically, now, without getting too far into the name thing, and like I said, what I'm trying to tell you is the teachings of Christ and the Bible leading up to that is basically everything leading up to that. Okay? That's as good as it gets. You're not going to find any more knowledge, period, that's going to do anything for you other than lead you astray or lead you in the truth that I just told you. Now you can go down lines of thinking yourself that you're fooled into thinking something else is going to do better for you. But nothing is going to do more for you than the teachings of Christ. No, don't get me wrong. You can learn stuff and think you're doing something for yourself, but at the end of the day, it's not going to do anything for you. Other than the teachings of Christ. Okay? Now I just want to push that point home because that's the big conspiracy in the world. That's the big conspiracy in the world, that the Christ teachings have been undermined in who he is, and that's the only conspiracy that matters to you. Yeah, there's other stuff, but this is it. This is your key. This is the master key. This is everything you need to know. And knowing that that's happening through spiritual warfare, that the ruler of the world, Satan, and you might say to yourself, well, if God is real, how does that happen where this warfare is taking place? Don't ask me all that. All I know is it's happening. Okay? Everything you see on YouTube, y'all, is all about empowering yourself and you're the chosen one and all this. All that stuff is just a play on your pride. It's a play on your pride. Not 90% of it. I don't go into that stuff because I see what they're doing. They use cool graphics and stuff like that, and deep voices and a tender cadence and cool graphics and all that. And they're basically playing on your strings of your heart. You know, trying to get you to feel like you're about to get something, or you're about to become empowered, or that you're so smart and you're so special and this and that. Okay. No. That's what they're doing. They're trying to lure you in to subscribe to something or something like that and get money out of you. Okay? You're the chosen one. Oh, the time is coming. Oh, this video found you. Blah, 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 blah. All of these big ticks. They're saying all this stuff. Oh, you know, all of these claiming to be so much knowledge and all that. All that's fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, it's not doing anything for you. The teachings of Christ is the most wise you can get. Okay? The teachings of Christ is the most wise you can get. Everything else ain't going to do nothing for you if you don't have this. And not even in that order. It's this only. It's this only. And I'm not saying that by opinion. I'm telling you what's going on. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. Okay? It's the teachings of Christ. That is the closest to God as you can get. Period. And all the other stuff is not going to do anything for you if you don't have this. Even then it's not going to do anything for you. That's the problem with humanity, is we don't realize is that is the simplicity of everything. That makes us feel stupid. Yes, we're stupid. Because I'm telling you the boldness of this truth about the Christ and his teachings and who he really is and the degree that everything's being pulled away from him. That's what's going on. We might say, no, it's not. This is just knowledge. No, it's not. I'm just studying. Yes, it is. It's really designed to pull you away from Christ. Okay? Now, I don't know the degree to all that other stuff and how much of that is designed to pull you away from Christ, but it's done in a way where it won't even mention Christ. Okay, I believe the extent that this stuff has been taken to pull you away from Christ is amazing. I would probably say they have whole books and realms of books that have been written against Christ without even mentioning his name. You know, without even taking a stance against him, literally in the text. They're playing on other strings. They're playing on other stuff. You don't know the extent of this spiritual warfare stuff. It's very big. It's very big. Okay? You've been informed. We figured this out. We figured this out on Preach Facts, what's going on in the world. There's no telling how many volumes of books, libraries have been written to dumb down the Christ without even saying anything about religion. It's to that extent, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I guarantee all these books that claim to give you power and knowledge and all that, that's not the case. That's not the case. You're being fooled. You're being fooled. This is it. This is it. We're going to preach fact here. This is it. Now, if you want to go on and get some practical knowledge, like learning languages and stuff like that, that's knowledge. But thinking you're going to find some key that's going to do something better for you than this, it's simply wasting your time. Occultism. All that crap. All that crap is a bunch of BS, man. This is the only truth. End of story. You're not going to find some elevated, Illuminati society, whatever that is. It's going to be, they're either going to be Christians or they're not. That's it. That's it. I don't care. That's it. Of course, the enemy's not going to come out and say, hey, I'm against the Christ. He's not going to come out and say that. He's going to do everything in your power not to bring up the validity of Christ. I've said it before, and it just lines up with everything I've been saying. I've been dead on. The teaching that I saw yesterday was a dead on thing. Any line of thinking or any type of thing they can say is going to lead you down a path of subtleness, which is just like the serpent. A subtleness is going to pull you away from the Christ. 9 times out of 10, never mentioning the fact that it's for that reason. They're never going to say that's what their goal is. It's all about deception. It's all about the lie. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to leave it alone for now. The dude yesterday, he's in complete defense of the Christ. He said, all the names in the Old Testament. He said there really wasn't no name given for God. All that stuff was thrown in there basically to say, all those names were basically thrown in there to end up diminishing, or they made a mistake, or anything was something thrown in there to diminish the name of Jesus Christ. It basically said that was the only name he went by, Jesus Christ. Okay, so, guys, when you worship Jesus Christ in the name of Jesus Christ, that's the name. Okay, now I'm not getting into the name thing, but the point is that the teaching of Jesus have been diminished through many various ways. And it makes perfect sense. All the stuff's adding up. All the stuff's adding up. How do you know it's not? How do you know it's true? You just know. You just know what I'm telling you is true about this whole thing, about all these other knowledges, all these other sacred books, all these other big volume stuff about telling you how to be wise and all that. It's all about pulling you away from the Christ. Period. End of story. That's what it's all about. Pulling you away from the Christ. Now, we made a big power pack. Now, that's a big progress that we made with that today. Because the video was lost. I was going to share it with y'all. If I find it cool, I'm not really done. That's God telling me. I went to my history. It's gone. What the hell? I didn't even finish it. But I got the message. I got the message. I was going to go back and study it because it's hard to find fruitful stuff that makes any sense. But you know it's true. Because it's true for one, because you know what I'm telling you is true, and the video is true because nobody has anything to gain by telling you that Christ is Messiah. And He's the one. No one has anything to gain from that. That's how you know it's true. It's not for your own self-promotion. I mean, it is, but it's not through yourself. It's not for your own self-promotion. It's all about revealing the truth to you that Jesus is Christ, and that's what you're supposed to be, and not to undermine His teachings, and to the extent of His validity is out the window. When I say out the window, I mean a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna try to stress this one more time. This is not just my opinion. Okay? The spiritual powers that be, the rulers of the air, Satan, the demons, they tremble at the name of Jesus Christ and the validity of what he is and who he is, God himself. The validity of that has been undermined through spiritual warfare. The writings of books, diminishing the validity of Christ, diminishing the validity of Christ, who Christ actually is, the actual impact of following the teachings. No other knowledge is going to do anything for you compared to this. Or, I mean, really at all, to be quite frank. Yeah, you got to go live your life. Yeah, you got to do stuff. But this is it. You got to know that. You got to know that God just wants you to be good. That's it. It is not about no knowledge. It's not about no nothing. Figuring stuff out, finding, empowered things. No, none of that is true. And I'm very happy that I found that video, but it's gone. I went back to my search history, and I'm not no savvy dude and all that. But I went back to my search history. Where is it? It's gone. I go back to look up my genre that I was in. I can't really find it. But I knew I was on the right track because gematria is the nail in the coffin for these atheists. Now, I made my point with this whole thing. Now, with that, we're going to proceed with our study. But look, and on top of all that, I found my protege. Modern Brain is a dude on TikTok. You want to talk about the most knowledgeable dude and he had literally stuff published. Charts, diagrams about every basic thing, historical and anything that means anything that's relevant to us on his page. Guys, go check out the Modern Brain. Okay? And guess what? He's out doing a live defending Christ. Defending the Bible. I said, oh my God, is this real? Is there somebody else out here that's like me? But he's got me beat. He's got his screen pulled up. He's got his screen pulled up. His screen is pulled up where his computer's at, and he's sharing his screen. But let me tell you something. You talk about confidence and unshakableness. He's there. He's taking questions, and no one's really saying anything because they can see he's on point. He's on point. This is not your regular dude. Okay, he's getting it done. So, guys, I want to recommend Modern Brain. His title says, Christianity is the true religion. Prove me wrong. Okay? So, and I just concur with everything he's saying. And I kept saying, good job, you're doing this. Man, I asked him to disciple me. Not in a God-like fashion, but just, and he texted back, he said, hey, great content, da-da-da-da-da. But guys, that's what we're doing here, and we're not wrong. We're not antiquated. This literally is, and we don't want that to be. And the problem is, as humans, here's the mental dilemma. Here's the dilemma. Here's the problem with our minds. Okay? The problem is that because this is the only truth that matters, other than your own conduct in the world and all that, how it is, and I'm trying to break this down as simply as I can, we feel stupid, we feel left out, we feel powerless. Guess what? You are. At the end of the day, at the end of your life, there's absolutely nothing you can do other than get with the Christ. There's absolutely nothing you can do. Okay? That's it. And that's the problem. We feel left out. We feel like we're intellectually accomplished. I'm sorry. You're absolutely powerless in the hands of God. Without the Christ. You are absolutely powerless. If you want to make any advancement, the only way to do that is through the teachings of Christ in Paul in the letters. That's the only way you can advance. There is no other way. And that's the bottom line. We have a lot we need to do. We need to look inside our own characters. We need to follow the teachings of Christ and read our Bibles, knowing what the Bible is about. Bible is about the Christ. And every straw that's pulled is a different line of reasoning in itself. It's another red flag. The only thing that stands firm and separate is the teaching of Christ and what it claims and what Paul claims. That's the only teaching, and he says it very clearly. Stay away from sound doctrines. There's really no reason that the Bible should still be in the world because of all the warfare that's against it. But it is. And it's intact. I mean, they say that the Bible's being changed magically through, the Mandela effect and all that. I wouldn't be surprised. So, guys, we got to get the point while we can. Because there's no guarantee this is going to be here. Because it's being diminished and diminished and diminished and diminished. And it doesn't matter. There is no blow low enough or no lie too far-fetched to be published and verified and all that to discredit the proof of God. They'll do whatever it takes to say that this isn't real because the demons tremble. Even the devil knows scripture. He quoted it back to Jesus. Okay? So, I'm sticking to my guns. I'm buckling down. I'm buckling down on this because of everything they said. And the nail in the coffin for the atheist is the Christ. You can't sit, is Gematria. You can't sit here and tell me that all the stuff in Gematria is just math and there's no significant meaning there that points to something bigger. I mean, there's bold stuff in Gematria that's saying a lot of stuff that stands out to say, hey, there's something here. I'm not going to get into details because I'm not going to debase myself on that. If they want examples, we'll go into examples, and there are a lot. I try not to embarrass folks, on here with that. Gematria is the nail in the coffin for the atheists. You look into it, you see. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff. That's why they made it a thing, because there's a lot there. Okay? I'm not just talking about some might be. No, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. All through all kind of stuff. Psalms, adding up to this, God's number, this and that. It just goes wild in Gematria. And you can say a lot about that. You can try to say stuff about that, but it's a little extensive to say something. So Gematria is the nail in the coffin for the atheists. So God came through when I needed him. He did. He showed me another guy who's doing something like me. And he was unwavered. He was unwavered. You couldn't really say anything to him because of his broad knowledge and all that. But still, at the end of the day, he acknowledges. He acknowledges what I'm telling you about the Christ, and that's the main thing. That's the main thing. We made our point here. I'm going to reference this video for anybody in doubt. Once you know that the Christ is what that is, that's big. That's big. That's comfort. That's assurance. That's knowing that we have everything we need. And I've said that before. It's everything we need and nothing that we don't. I've been preaching up to this thing. It's not me. It's the Lord. Just about everything that comes out of my mouth is basically Lord driven. Don't quote me. But, looking back, it all lines up. It all lines up with what I'm saying. And every line of thinking they can take to debunk this, they can. And it's been going on since before the time of Christ. Okay? It's, he's not the Messiah. Let's kill him. The circumcision. Eating with idol. Don't eat pork. Any stumbling block they can find to pull you away. No. The Old Testament isn't real. The whole Bible's fake. We don't believe in God. Jesus was just a prophet. The whole thing was made up. We're Jews for Jesus. We're Jews, but we don't believe in Jesus. Okay, Jesus was a prophet. He was a guru. Okay. Son of God or no son of God. Not meeting the criteria for the Messiah. Unfulfilled prophecies. It's just a religious book. It's optional. You don't have to do that. We're just going to live our lives. And we're okay. We're just going to live our lives. We're just moral people. And that's the way the world is. Because it's the golden rule. All kind of different reasonings. We believe in the New Testament, but the Old Testament was fabricated. Okay, Jesus died on the cross, but we were mistaken about what he was. Jesus is the Satan. Jesus is Satan. All kind of stuff. Any straw they can pull. That'll have any type of fruit to pull you away from the fruit that's going to be born. To pull you away from the solid truth that I just gave you about the Christ and the teachings in the Bible and what that means for you. I've tried to lay it out as plainly as possible. No other teachings. And like I said, the line of thinking is this. And I'll say it again. The line of thinking is this. There's something you can do to make you feel accomplished, to make you feel special and secret and elite. That's pride. It's pulling on the strings of your pride. That you're going to find something. And you're smart enough, and you're good enough, and you're special enough. Chosen, whatever it is. You're chosen all right by the Christ. Okay? Hopefully. If you're hearing this video, chances are you got a good chance of going. You could be chosen. Okay, I don't know how all that works. All I know is that predestination is a thing. Okay? So, the teaching, like I said, the line of thinking goes like this. That you're going to be smart enough to find something in your own power. You did that. By your own power and your own choices, you were cool enough and smart enough to find stuff other than the teachings of Christ. That's not the case. You're completely powerless. You're completely powerless. There's nothing you can do to be cool in the eyes of God, other than do the stuff in the teachings of Christ and acknowledge Him. That's the only thing. There is no other thing. You're not cool enough. You're not smart enough. You're not bold enough. Okay. And it's in the beautiful part about it. So at the end of the day, we're completely powerless. There's not 1 ounce of energy you can pour into anything other than this in the Christ that's going to benefit you. I'm not saying that other knowledge doesn't have its practical stuff. But if it's not pointing in the directions of being Christ-like and living your life, going about your business humbly in the image of Christ, then it's not doing anything for you. I'm sorry, it's not doing anything for you. And it's pulling on the strings. You're completely powerless. You're in the hands of an angry God. You're completely powerless. You are completely powerless without the power of Christ. Not 1 ounce of understanding outside of this book is going to put you any better shape in the eyes of God. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care whatever you're doing. If you're not doing the work of the Lord, then God's going to use you in a way like a pawn to try to, pull somebody other there to Him or punish somebody else through you. You're going to be used either way. You're not going to see it because, you got your head in the sand. You thinking that you're going to find something with your own power and all that. You're not going to see the bigger picture or acknowledge how you're being used in a direction that's either against you or to help somebody else. Because God's going to do multiple things at one time. Okay? So, God, that's it. So, with that being said, that we understand what's going on in the world, and we understand that it has been dumbed down, and it is too simple for us. We're so manipulative. We're so easily manipulated. Age of information, enticing us. We're very easily manipulated as a human race. Okay. And easily influenced. Okay. And at the end of the day, when we're told, we realize that this is all it is, and we get our pride out of the way, and we realize, wow, this really is the only thing that'll help me. This really is this simple. But there's a lot of work to be done. There's comfort in that. There's comfort in knowing that has been made, the teaching of the Christ usually requires a lot of work to be done internally. Okay, so don't act like there's not work to do continuously. So here's your duty, here's your assignment. And that's for me too. Now that we know, Gracie, time to clean house. It's time to go in. We're doing a Bible study from front to back, but time to go in. If you want to get right to the core, go to Matthew, go to Romans, go to Acts, and read it through. Start reading. Listen, I recommend you just go straight to Acts or straight to Romans. And that's where you're supposed to be at. That's it. That's the key. That's it. And you can dumb it down. Try to dumb it down all you want to. I just gave it to you what it is. The teachings of Christ, the teachings of Paul, that is the only thing to the utmost degree that's going to benefit you. Period. End of story. End of story. You've taken a commitment to line yourself up with New Testament theology. Why? Because you care about yourself. You care about your everlasting soul. And of course, you're going to care about others afterwards. You got to love yourself and love God, knowing that this is what it's supposed to be. And this is what you're supposed to do. And there's no other information out there. It's all right there. It's an inside job. There's no other information that's going to benefit you in the eyes of God. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. There is no other information. I mean, other than practical stuff like learning trades, learning skills to help put food on the table and help do ministries and stuff like that. Helping acts of kindness. But there's no other knowledge that's going to help you other than practical, like a trade skill. Or practical insight, knowing things like weather patterns or whatever. Something that's actually going to help you. Looking out in the stars and all that, that's not going to really help the world or anything like that. It's an inside job. I'm not saying it's evil to look at the stars. You're just looking at God. When you look inside, you're looking at God too. When you look at the Christ, you're looking at God. When you listen to Paul's theology, it's a direct door. It's a direct. You're listening to the thoughts of God, and He's telling you what matters. Because guys, that is not all there is to it. We're going on into eternity. Gracie, we're going on into eternity to do God knows what. Gracie! To do God knows what. Service. Okay? So, I'm not going to do any more teaching today. We're in Genesis 40. That's the nail's been set in the coffin. And I need to constantly remind myself and believe despite all the stuff that's going around. All the stuff. The stuff that I just told you. There's going to be many ways they're going to undermine this. And the people that say it because they're deceived themselves, they're going to say it like they mean it and they believe it. And they're going to make you sound like a fool for not believing it. And look like a fool. Oh, well, here's exhibit A, B, and C. This has been published. This has been published. This has been published. It's been debunked. It's been debunked. It's been debunked. It's been debunked. That's what they're going to tell you. Everything's been debunked. No, it hasn't. There's a bunch of lies have been told. And a bunch of convinced people have convinced a bunch of other people, and they become convinced. And because those other people are convinced, they're saying, hey, this dude wrote this. He published it. He was convinced because he was told by other people that were convinced. But at the front of the line, there was a lie. At the front of the line of all this stuff that came down, there was a lie. If a bunch of convinced people get told by other convinced people, and at the end of the day, there's a convinced person standing behind a solid lie, it's going to look really true. At the end of the day, I'm begging you. You got to trust wholeheartedly in the teachings of Christ in the Bible. And I'm going to also suggest that you only call on the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not saying all that other stuff about the names and all that he was saying. But he's basically saying that the Lord Jesus Christ is the only name that he was known by. Everything else was something that man thrown in there. By mistake or on purpose or what. They're basically saying You know, all through the Bible it says, you know, my name, I am that I am. I'm the God of Abraham. Da 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 da. Uh, the God of Jacob. Da, da. It's always saying. It never really says a name. I'm not getting into all that because I'm just going to trust what the guy said. The name, just calling the normal name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and by no other name shall you be saved, and stuff like that. Just I would be a safe bet by doing that. I wouldn't use any other names like that. All those knowledges are not doing anything for you. Stick to what I'm telling you about the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm not just saying that. I just gave you the whole breakdown of everything about what's going on. Okay, I can't stress that enough. We are completely powerless in the world. But no, we want to feel elite. We want to feel like we're smart enough. We want to feel like this is too simple for us. What do you mean? We have so much capacity, but you want to give us this? We feel so stupid now and unempowered. You are powerless, people. I hate to tell you that. You came in the world butt naked, covered in blood. What makes you think you have any power? You would have died right there if somebody didn't take care of you. You think you're going to feed yourself as a baby and all that? No, you're completely powerless. You were completely powerless. You would never exist unless somebody took care of you. You were completely powerless. And now that you're grown up, what can you do to keep yourself from dying? What can you do? You're completely powerless. So don't be intellectually fooled into thinking that you have some type of power or capacity that's going to get you somewhere. But the reality is there is something we can do. That's going to take you where you're supposed to get to. And it's all there. Right there in the New Testament and the teachings of Paul and his theology. It's all, everything you need is right there. So you're not powerless. You got to recognize that power is not inside you, it's in God. And it's been given right here. You can put it in you. Start working. You can put it in you. But don't sit here and tell me that there's anything else that you can do anywhere else. From anywhere else. So let's shut down these strings of this elitism and this all this stuff. The only elitism is being in the Christ. That's the only elite thing you're going to get. Oh, you're smart enough. You're cool enough. You're bold enough. To search more, to do more. No, all that stuff is a lie. All that stuff is a lie. Gracie! All that stuff is a lie. You're bold enough. You looked hard enough. You're cool enough. You read this, you read that, you read that, you read that. Guess what? What's it doing for you? It's harming you. What you thought was going to be good for you and cool enough and make you elite and all that is actually just pulling you away. And the only thing it's trying to pull you away from is the Christ. And it's so subtle, it's never going to mention that. It's never going to mention, oh, that we're against the Christ. No, it's really just using other methods to pull you away from Christ. That's when you got to get outside the box and realize that the enemy's not going to tell you what he's doing. If you're fishing with a hook in a lure, are you going to tell the fish, hey, I'm really just fishing, it's really a fake lure, don't get that. Don't bite that, because no, you want the fish to bite that without him knowing it's a fake lure and he's going to be reeled in. So all these teachings that don't mention that they're against the Christ, they mention some intellectual gain. Okay? The end of the day, Now, I don't know what degree that goes to, but it's extensive, I'm sure. It's extensive. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just plain old everything. Now, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. I didn't do any of my study today because this had to be told, and I had to reinforce that because that's the bottom line. This is probably our best video as far as practicality. Now, guys, you have a good day. We're doing good for this to happen. Because at the end of the day, this video is really all you need. This video I just showed you is really all you need. And then you need to go. You've been informed about the reality of the world and all the information and all the lines of thinking and all the methods that are used against you. Pulling on your own strings of pride, trying to pull you away. That you were the super sleuth, you were the investigator, you got it done, you found stuff. Now you can live your life. No. Yeah, you can. But at the end of the day, you're standing at the airport without your ticket. You went to the grocery store and filled up your cart and got to the register, and guess what? You left your wallet at the house. What? Set the cart down. You got to go back to the house. You're not doing anything. You got to go back to the house. Oh, sir, can I just... No, sir, you have to go get that wallet. I'm sorry. Call your wife, tell her to bring it up there. There's nothing you can do. You're literally caught with your pants down on this. But not now. Now you've been informed. This is the truth. And at the end of the day, even people around you, they're going to say, and around me, they're going to say, you're being a little extreme on this. Okay, let me take care of me. You have your own opinions. Let me take care of me. You have your own opinions. You're going extreme on this. No. Let me take care of me. Y'all have a good day. We're on YouTube at Preach Facts, okay? Have a good day. We're on the Gmail at preachfacts7 at gmail.com. See you tomorrow.